Cuban Gooding Jr. was so close to that man, I would thought that was his lady. That's how close he was to him.
We're talking about Cuba Gooding Jr. being shown through still photos of what the complainant says they have videos of.
Say how deeply hurt I was that you didn't choose earlier, Stephen. What, a black man?
Hey.
No!
Looks like Cuba Gooding Jr. is back in the spotlight, but not in a good way. You see, Diddy's latest lawsuit has wreaked havoc on Cuba's reputation. Lil Rod claimed in the court documents that Cube and Diddy touched him intimately on various occasions. The word on the street is that Jr. is making trouble for Diddy for having him dirty like that. Let's jump right into this mess, cause dang, this D is hot. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former producer and videographer for Combs, filed his civil complaint in New York federal court on Monday. In the lawsuit, Rod claimed that he worked for and traveled with Combs between 2022 and 2023, while collaborating with Combs on his most recent album, Love. Among other allegations, Jones claims that Combs did not compensate him for his music producing work, forcing him to procure and interact with adult workers, threatened him, and served alcoholic beverages laced with substances to guests at parties at his homes. Moreover, Combs' chief of staff, Christina Karam, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, former Motown CEO Ethiopia Habtemariam, and the Combs' adult son Justin are also named as defendants. Now, in the 73-page-long complaint, the plaintiff specifically mentioned Goodling, alleging that Combs was grooming Jones to pass him off to his friends, Gooding among them. While the actor is not named as a defendant in the suit, Rod alleged that Gooding used to touch and fondle him non-consensually, along with Diddy.
We're talking about Cuba Gooding Jr. being shown through still photos of what the complainant says they have videos of.
The lawsuit read, Mr. Combs had dominion and control over the actions of Cuba Gooding Jr. and failed to step in and stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from essaying Mr. Jones. Rod went into details claiming that Sean was present while he was being essayed by Cuba on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands in January 2023. The suit alleged that both of them were invited by Combs that day. Sean Hawley, Sean Combs' attorney, denied the allegations in a statement to CNN, calling Jones a liar. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies, Hawley said in a statement. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. Well, although Rod's claims seem a little far-fetched, Cuba has been known for his wild antics in the industry. Remember when Cuba went to kiss Stephen Fry while hosting the British Academy Awards?
Say how deeply hurt I was that you didn't choose to kiss me earlier, Stephen. What, a black man?
Hey.
No!
Now, all fun aside, fans believe that no man would be willing to play such a trick when they aren't already playing for the DL. They speculate that Jr. might have been a part of the crowd for years if he was comfortable enough to pull that off on the stage. Okay, so here's where things get really fishy as we get deeper. You might not know that Cuba himself has a fair share of essay suits filed against him. Cuba Gooding Jr. was sued by two women whose essay cases against the Oscar-winning actor underlay a criminal prosecution that ended with him pleading guilty, but serving no jail time. In a complaint filed in a New York State court in Manhattan, Jasmine Abbey claimed that the Jerry Maguire star forcibly kissed her without her consent in September 2018, while she was working as a cocktail waitress at the Lavo nightclub in Midtown Manhattan. The other plaintiff, Kelsey Harbert, accused Gooding of chest in June 2019 at the Magic Hour rooftop bar, also in Midtown. Gloria Allred, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, said in a statement, Our clients were deprived of the justice they sought in the criminal case. They are now seeking justice and accountability in their civil cases. Abbey and Harbert were seeking unspecified damages for A and battery under the Adult Survivors Act, a special New York state law letting women sue their alleged criminals even if statutes of limitations have run out. Cuba pleaded guilty in April 2022 to a misdemeanor charge of forcibly touching Abbey, who was not identified by name at the time but revealed her identity in the lawsuit. Later on, the charge was downgraded 6 months later to harassment, to which Gooding pleaded guilty after complying with a plea agreement that required alcohol and behavior modification treatment and no further arrests. Accusations by Abby, Harbert, and a third woman were the basis for a 6-count indictment against Gooding, which his guilty plea resolved. Not only that, Gooding settled a civil lawsuit in Manhattan federal court moments before the trial by a woman who was accusing him of 2013 R, although the terms were not disclosed. The woman had sought $6 million. So Cuba's history with lawsuits is a spotty at best, and fans believe that Rod might have had some credibility in his claims. Gene Deal is mirroring the sentiment and has claimed that Cuba and Diddy were trying to intimidate Rod with their horseplay tactic. He claimed that both of them had fighting capabilities, but they decided to gang up on Rod to make him feel threatened if he tried to reject their advances. Deal even added that, while he was working for Diddy, he had seen Diddy pull the same tactic to intimidate women as well.
Right, I got you. But looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Rod, he alleges that, Diddy, he'll put his hands on him. But, when he'll put his hands on him, he'll disguise it as horseplay. But he felt like Diddy was trying to groom him, in a sense.
Well, with the horseplay situation, I used to see him do that with certain women. You understand? When he was mad, upset, or he was too old for this shit, but he would do that play fighting shit. You understand? So I can imagine him play fighting with Lil Rod. Because, a lot of people could say what they want to say about Diddy. He got a knuckle game. He will fight you. You know what I'm saying? You his size, you understand something like that? Around your size, something like that, he would fight you. He had a knuckle game. He wasn't that dude that, like, people try to say he was some old scared bitch-ass nigga. Nah, he would fight you. You understand? So I could see with a person like Lil Rod, he probably was roughing him up, grabbing him, you know what I'm saying? Acting like he playing with him, but he want him to.
When the lawsuit was filed, the court system originally stated that Jones was seeking $30 billion as compensation. That was an error, however, as his lawyer, Tyrone A. Blackburn, has said that since it would be updated to reflect the correct demand of $30 million, reports the New York Times. This is the 5th time that Diddy has been sued for misconduct over the past few months. Most recently, a woman identified as Jane Doe filed a lawsuit claiming that Diddy, a former Bad Boy Entertainment president Harvey Pierre, and an unnamed third person, ST&G'd her in 2003 when she was a 17-year-old high school student. Diddy called the allegations sickening and denied doing any of the awful things being alleged. Jane Doe is represented by the same law firm that supported Cassandra Elizabeth Cassie Ventura's since-settled SA lawsuit against Diddy. In her complaint, it stated that seeing 2 other women bravely speak out against Mr. Combs and Mr. Pierre, respectively, gave Ms. Doe the confidence to tell her story as well. Earlier this month, Lil Rod started a GoFundMe campaign asking donors to help him sue Combs. He said, "I find myself fighting for my producer's rates, money, publishing shares, and royalties for works done on this project." Jones accused Combs of slow-walking the legal process in an attempt to empty his coffers. As on Monday night, the campaign had raised a little less than $1,500 of a stated $50,000 goal. In one alleged instance, Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused next to 2 adult workers and Combs. Jones claimed that to maintain dominion and control over Combs would dangle promises of Grammys, money, and access to label executives in front of him. But the mogul could just easily switch up his approach and threaten Jones physically. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face and informed Mr. Jones that he's willing to kill his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants, it explains, so he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. Jones alleged that he has hundreds of hours of footage and audio records of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engage in serious illegal activity. Apart from that, the City Girls rapper was also named by Jones in a suit. He claimed that Young Miami was part of a group that was paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' adult workers and received a payment via wire transfer. Jones also alleged that Young Miami's female cousin, unnamed in the suit, essayed him at a party in 2022. One of the fans claimed that all the alleged victims of Diddy have had a rough past with women. Usher, Justin Bieber, Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Meek Mill, Cuba Gooding Jr. have one thing in common, and that is P. Diddy. All of them have acted out, especially against women, because they were traumatized by Diddy. And that's it for today. See you in the next one. Goodbye.